Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time to talk to me today. I'm a big fan of the show. Love the characters on the show. I grew up on these books, so to see these
Amazing.
people kind of come to life and this world come to life, it's great for me. I think I'll start with you, Isaiah, because John Sampson is such a good counterpoint to Alex Cross. I feel like most of the time they are locked in on the same goals, they want to do the same thing, but it's always interesting to see the tension between the two of them and how far one is willing to go and where the other one stops. And that always isn't in alignment. One of you is usually able to go a little step further than the other one. So I was wondering for you what that's like to create this as sort of a partnership between friends and to play off that kind of energy with Aldous.
I think it imitates life with your real, friends and family. Um, or if you're a parent, like the way you are with your partner, you play good cop, bad cop. So it's one person has a soft approach, someone else has a little firmer approach. So I think that's what you get with Samson and Cross. Whereas Alex comes in very cerebral and kind of gets into it. I think Samson can kind of take sometimes he can take a more emotional approach or sometimes he can take a more physical approach. But it's a lot of fun to look at it like that and say like, all right, that's our on-screen brotherhood, our partnership. They're work partners.
Mhm.
One will come in with a hammer, the other one will come in with a feather.
Yeah, and I like
But they
that
both are gonna,
sometimes. Yeah,
go
sometimes
ahead.
you have one of them be the voice of reason more so than the other one. And I like that you guys can kind of trade off like who is actually more right in the situation and who's being more emotionally caught up than the other one too. I think that's an interesting dynamic too.
If you look in season one, there's a moment where we're at this drug house den and we're about to do something. So we established that the characters, whenever they decide who's going to do what, and was we Rochambeau for it. You'll see it in that episode. Like we look at each other, who's going to take the steps, and I'm like, I lose, I take the steps. Fun, it's fun making that stuff up
That's
on the
great.
fly.
And for you, Samantha, your character kind of has to coax a lot of vulnerability out of Alex. But in this season, I feel like we get to see a lot more of her vulnerability and sort of the
Mhm.
position that Alex has put her in at the
Mhm.
start of this. So I was wondering what it's like to go into this season where the shoe is kind of on the other foot and you have to be a little bit more vulnerable in times than Alex does.
Yeah, the stakes are higher, definitely. I feel that on a molecular level for her. Um, I do enjoy it because as I build her and the world that she lives in, I really love how I don't have answers for some of the things she's looking for. And I feel like that's real life too, life imitating art. And in the sense that we don't always have the answer to what we want or how to get it. Maybe we know what we want or we think we know, and then we have to journey to find that. And I think the insecurity of that journey, I've kind of enjoyed as an artist because it's where you really find the magic, right? And I get to learn more about her. I get to learn more about myself in that in between where I don't know how to attain what she wants. I know what she wants, but I don't know how to attain it. Keeps her raw.
Mm.
Yeah. And something that I think you've both spoken well to already, and something that I love about this season is I feel like the first season really laid the groundwork for who Alex Cross was, who his world was, who these people around him are. And now I feel like we're learning a lot more about the people around Alex Cross, especially in the case of John Sampson. We're really learning a lot about like where he comes from, what his background is. And I was just wondering for you what it's like coming back to this show and finding out that we're going to learn a lot more about the world around Alex and not just about Alex himself.
It was a really fun like moment to think like, okay, now I get to dig into this character. I get to really kind of see where he lives, play with the emotions. construct some backstory that I hadn't thought about yet, because I didn't know that's the direction we were going. Um, it's just that you have to do that in a very short amount of time. So it's challenging as much as it is fun. But I think our writers, the one thing I love about our writers is they're there to help you with it. If you have a
Mm,
question, they can reach out, or you can reach out and you can say, "Hey, I'm wondering, like, when you have this arc going, like, what were you thinking, or what did you see him doing in the past?" So I can
mhm,
connect those dots. But it's a lot of fun to have those conversations.
mm. What's that thing that Ben always says? Come for the thrill and stay for the character.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Ben always says this about how he writes. And so that's why, too, we flush this out for our audiences. Because he's always saying that we're going to hook you with this, but you're going to stay actually for and be invested in the characters. And so, we're always being compared to pillars like crosses, this in this structure, but we are the pillars that hold that keep everything balanced. You don't know him unless you know us. And so there's this beautiful dance that we all kind of do, this balance that we have. And that's why season two is so important.
We are a pantheon of storytelling.
That was
Now
the
put it on
perfect
a
way to
t-shirt.
end it, man. That is perfect.